Yes, I'm sitting in my car. The Kenevo SL is still on embargo and there's some people around, so just keeping things on the DL. The bike is a certified banger with more pop than the 80s. It's bloody amazing. There's a big review coming soon. But I'm curious, how many laps can I do on my favorite trail? How long will it take me to do those laps? And how tired will I be afterwards? So this is just a little range test, riding the bike how I think it needs to be ridden. It's a big sender bike, it's a gravity bike, it needs to be ridden on sandy trails, so that's how I'm going to do this range test. I'm also going to run the bike completely stock as it's been supplied, with a 160 watt hour range extender plugged in and the 320 watt hour internal battery running. I'm going to run both batteries simultaneously, so they drain simultaneously, and I'm armed with a fair bit of froth, my roadie legs, and 1x baguette, so it should be good. Check in soon. Holy shit, this thing pops. Right, range updates. I'm 10k's in, I'm on 117%, and I've done about 500 meters of elevation, so one full run of the entire downhill line, which is an iconic downhill line. If you are ever in Cape Town, come and run this DH line into eMTB in Cape Town. That battery extender, it just kind of slides into the water bottle cage, and I've been sending some of the jumps down here, and actually quite interesting. It doesn't vibrate, it doesn't rattle around at all. The wiring, the housing doesn't disconnect or anything like that, so that's quite interesting. And the other thing just kind of discovered is this bike is actually quieter than the Kenevo SL. So when you're climbing, the Kenevo SL has a slight sing in it, more so than the new Kenevo. There's a slight sing in the motor, but this, although it's the same motor, just with an update, some of those guys at Specialized have done something to it. It definitely is a lot quieter when climbing, so that's good news. So I'm 20k's in, down at the bottom of the trail. I've done 3 fun laps, one of the DH line, one of Fussbait, and one of the snake trails, on 108%. And I've been playing out here for 2 hours, and that includes the filming time and reset time and all that. And just wanted to show you some of the wildlife you can expect to see here in Takai. Look at that beast, what a beauty. Right, so those are some of the numbers. Hour 50 ride time, 1061 meters, and 28k's, and it's just after 4, running out of time here, and I'm actually very, very tired. The bike's down onto 75%, and because I've ridden trail for most of the ride, I'm actually going to now go to turbo for the last part of the ride, and just smash it. Okay, so got 24% left on the battery. I've done 41k's, 2 hours 30 of ride time. From 50% of battery to 75% of battery, I was running full turbo. I'm pretty tired now and chasing light, so I'm in full turbo, the last bit of the battery. And I've done, I think, 8 fun runs, various laps down to Kai, but I think I've done 8 laps. Okay, so 4% battery, I've done 50k's, and I'm out of here. So the range numbers I got on the bike for the way I like to ride are 3 hours moving time, 52 kilometers, 1,786 meters of climbing, and an average speed of 16.8. But the crucial thing is that I got 10 laps in of shredding, various lines, but 10 laps of shredding in my local trail center. So it's almost like 10 runs that I got in that time. So that answers my question. I hope it gives you some indication on what you can get in your trail center from this bike. To give you an idea on battery usage and all that, I ended the ride on 3%. For the first 75% of the 150% battery, because remember I was running the range extender. So for the first 75%, I ran trail mode most of the time, a little bit of eco every now and then when the trail's flat, and descended in turbo. And then for the last half of the 150% of battery life, I rode in turbo everywhere. So it's not a maximum range test, but it gives you an idea of what you can achieve with a battery and with this bike. This is typically how I like to ride e-bikes. I like to work hard, like run minimum assist in the first part of the ride. I like to work really, really hard. And then as I tire and as I run out of light, I just go full turbo everywhere. So this is typically how I ride my bike. And those are the kind of numbers that you can get out of this system. Lastly, I can't believe how easy it is to go fast on this bike. Oh, this ride is on my Strava account, so you can follow me at Miles Kelsey and you can see all the details of the ride and where I rode and so on. Thank you for watching. Thanks for subscribing. See you on the trails.